Hola, welcome to the next flip lesson, which today we're going to be looking at pronunciation. Now, obviously I can lead you through this, but I thought I'd employ the services of Mr. Mayer here, who obviously is a native Spanish speaker. His accent is absolutely perfect, shall we say. So, the best person to learn from. We're going to look at some of the key sounds today for the main kind of letters and sounds and symbols that you're going to come up with at GCSE. Remember, for the controlled assessment, pronunciation intonation is worth 5 marks out of 30, and it's really, really easy, if you know it right, to score good marks on that to get you 4 out of 5, maybe even a 5 out of 5. But obviously, you need to know the sounds, you need to practice these. So we're going to look at a few today. So the first set of sounds we're going to look at are the vowels. So, Mr. Mayer, what are the 5 vowels and how do they sound in Spanish?
A, E, I, O, U.
Brilliant. And if we put a letter, or sorry, a consonant in front of, say for example, an M, how are they going to sound now?
Ma, me, mi, mo, mu.
Muy bien. And with an L in front of them?
La, le, li, lo, lu.
Muy bien. There is a video on YouTube to help you practice this. If you type into YouTube, orale, alfabeto, you type that into YouTube, go to about a minute, and there's some good practice for that, so that might be worth investigating in your own time. Something that we don't have in English, that we do have in Spanish, obviously, are accents. Now, the majority of words in Spanish don't have accents, and therefore, we know how to stress, where the stress comes in this word, by finding, in the majority of cases, not all of them, but in the majority of cases, the penultimate vowel in the word. The penultimate means the one before last. So if we take this top word here, manzana, as an example, the last vowel is on the end there. So the penultimate, the one before, is this A there. Now, Mr. Matt, if you're able to say that word there for me.
Manzana.
You can hear that the stress, manzana, comes on that second A. How would it sound if we had an accent, say, for example, on that first A?
Manzana.
And on the last day?
Manzana.
So you can hear it actually changes how the word sounds. So we need to be looking for the penultimate vowel in the majority of cases and stressing that one there. And it works exactly the same for really long words like this one, like desafortunadamente. We're going to find the penultimate vowel, which is going to be over there. Mr. Mayer, if you could say that for me.
Desafortunadamente.
We've got the stress on that penultimate E. If you didn't quite hear that, play it again and listen to that. So look for the penultimate vowel, and that's where the stress is going to come. If you need more help, come speak to me about that. Okay, having taught you the rules for how we stress words, you are going to come across words that have accents in Spanish, and you've seen these before, and you've been working on these since year 7. However, we're just going to remind you of where they come and why they come, but also, you know, how we, the main thing is how we're going to say the words when we've actually got accents. If we look at this top word that we've got over here, and if we were to find, like I've just told you, the penultimate letter, we will find that it's the penultimate vowel. We'll find that it's the I. So if we were to use that rule that we just applied, it would be musica. No, hold on. Let me say. Could you say that with the I?
Musica.
Musica. Yeah, it sounded really unnatural to be able to say that. So, however, when you see this word written down, you will notice that it will have an accent above the U there. So the actual correct pronunciation of this word is
Música.
Musica. You can hear that we stress the U where the accent is. And if we do the same for the word just underneath it, and if we find the penultimate verb, I'm getting my word mixed up today. The penultimate vowel, we'll see that it's that A there. And if we were to stress it using that A there, it would sound like
Platano.
Platano. So we're stressing that second A. However, if you see this word, which means banana, if you see it written down, you will see an accent above that first A there, which changes the way we say it in the pronunciation, and it becomes
plátano,
plátano. So we stress the vowel with the accent. So the thing to remember, if it hasn't got an accent on the word, find the penultimate vowel and stress that. If it does have an accent, we stress that vowel. And you're going to need to play around with that and see how well you do that. Okay? Okay, we're going to look at two letters now, and that's the letter th, c, and g, g. We're going to look at how they work after certain vowels. So the first one is the letter C, and if we've got an E or an I after this letter, Mr. Met, could you show us how it's pronounced, this CE and the CI?
the, thi.
The and the. Now you'll notice that we stick our tongues out in between our teeth. The, the. Okay, so you need to stick your tongues out in between there to get that sound. And the G?
Ge, gi.
Okay, so it's a kind of throaty sound. Ge and chi. And it's going to come from your throat for those two. So let's have a look at an example of these two words. So we've got these letters in different words there, and we're going to go through the pronunciation of each of these. So if we look at the first one here,
Cero,
cero, so we stick our tongue out in between, cero for the first one, and the middle one?
cierto,
Cierto there. And does this work exactly the same when the letter combinations are in the middle or at the end of a word?
yep.
So this word would be?
Once,
The. We've got the the in there at the end. And with the G's?
Getafe,
We've got that ge sound at the start. Getafe. And this one?
gitano,
Gitano. Okay, so we've got that G-I, but it's a chi. The sound like gitano comes from our throat. Okay. And now these letters with different vowel combinations after them. So we've got the CA. Now, is that going to make a th sound?
no,
So
it would be ka,
ka, so it's a harder sound, so ka. So, and the next one?
ko,
Ko, and finally?
ku.
Cool. So we've got those three make harder sounds. Does it work the same with the G?
It will sound ga, go, gu.
Okay, so again, a harder sound rather than the throaty sound. So it's not going to be ha, ho, or hu, but it's going to be that ga, go, and gu. Muy bien. So let's have a look at an example of this word here.
Caracol,
So we can see the first CA there, it's a ka, cara, and this second CO sound makes a col. So caracol. Yeah? Muy bien. And over here, the GA?
gato, gato.
Gato. Muy bien. Okay, so it's not going to be gato, it's going to be gato. Okay, so that's how that works. The last three letters that we're going to look at that are slightly different in Spanish is theta, jota, and ñ. Now, these are pronounced in different ways to as they are in English, and it's very tempting to see a word like this and go Zaragoza and go for that Z sound like we have in English, but that's not how it works in Spanish, is it?
No.
So how does that Z sound?
Zaragoza,
So again, that
Zaragoza.
Zaragoza, again, it's going to be that it's almost like a CE or a CI sound, isn't it? With it, where you're sticking your tongue out, or maybe equivalent to TH.
That's right,
in
yeah.
English. So Zaragoza, so rather than a Z, where we don't stick our tongue out, it's going to be Zaragoza. Well, yeah. And the J, how does that work?
Jarabe,
So it works a little bit like the GE or the GI in terms of it comes from your throat to make that sound. So jarabe. Yeah? And the last one, the ñ.
España,
España. So it's kind of got that nasally ñ sound. So it's almost as if you're putting a Y in there as well. So España. So we need to be careful we don't say España. Okay, and we're looking for more España. Okay, that's a really quick tour through the main key sounds that we're going to be looking at in Spanish. And of course, the more you practice, the better you'll become. Now, as I said at the start of the video, it's really important that we try and practice that, because mispronouncing one of these words could be the difference in the examiner's eyes between taking you from a 4 down to a 3 or down to a 2 if we mispronounce the words, put the stress in the wrong place, or there's too much what we call first language interference, which is a posh way of saying that you've got a bit of an English accent. Okay, so look back at this video when you're coming up to doing your speaking exams and making sure that your pronunciation is as good as it could be. If you need any help, come and see us. Hasta luego.
Ciao.
And just before I let you go, there's a little piece of homework for me so that I know that you've watched this video and you've taken something out of it. I'd like you to get a recording device, be that your phone, an iPod, or something like anything that you can record voice onto, and I'd like you to try and say these 10 words, thinking about the pronunciation tips that we've been going through. As I was writing these, I remember there's 2 other ones that I think you know already, but I just want to remind you. Remember the H in Spanish, the H, we don't usually hear. So the word hola, we don't say hola, we don't hear that H, it's just hola, as if it wasn't there, as if it's silent. And the other one is the V and the B often sound exactly the same. So for example, vale, which is spelt like this, doesn't sound like vale, but vale, that V and the B sound the same. So have a go at saying those 10 words. Bring your recording to me next lesson, or email it to me if you have the capability of doing that, or upload it to Moodle if you're feeling very flash. And we'll have a look at that next lesson, and we'll do a little bit more work on that.